Dr. Geza Kogler from the Wellstar College of Health and Human Services, Department of Exercise Science and Sport Management. And he will be talking about orthoses that move better.
Good evening. This is my family. In the front row, you'll see my mother. She had a fall and had an injury to her spine, and she was rehabilitated with what's called a spinal orthosis. Next to her is my nephew, who's a college athlete and injured his foot and ankle. He also had an orthosis. Like other families, you probably have someone that has an orthosis or prosthesis. 35 to 40 million people globally require the services of an orthosis or prosthesis for various conditions afflicting the body. So you might likely know someone that has a loss of limb or a device. What's a prosthesis? What's an orthosis? A prosthesis is the replacement of a missing limb. An orthosis is a device that fits over an existing body part. And you can see there's far more orthoses that solve problems, coming from the neck, actually the head, all the way down to the foot. Why do we have so many people? Frankly, we're kind of unhealthy. We have a lot of chronic diseases, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and the aging populations. This is increasing the needs for prosthetic orthotic services and meeting these demands. And we're kind of behind on some of the technology developments. Here's an individual that has difficulty walking. There's a lot of conditions that affect people's walking. Trauma, diseases like stroke, muscular dystrophies, cerebral palsy, all these conditions can really affect people's ability to be mobile. This is one of the main problems that are common to all those. This is called a drop foot. Someone has lost the inability for that front muscle to lift their toe up. This leg now is artificially longer, and it could cause someone to trip, and they can't walk safely. And so the treatment for this is actually quite simple. If we can hold the foot up, clear the ground, now that person can be, their function can be restored. And they can walk relatively normal, often without a link, or without a limp. So, how do we treat this? We can treat this with what's called an ankle-foot orthosis. And its only goal is to hold that foot up. Now, interestingly, that device has been around for 50 years as you see it. The technology is old. It works. Patients walk better. However, this problem is, can we do any better than that after 50 years? The answer is yes, we can. Have we reached the peak? We become so complacent with a device that actually eliminates the appearance of a limp, but is that enough? Well, the problem is that this device only solves the swing phase problem in the gait cycle. That's only 40%. Depending on the stiffness that device provides to the foot and ankle, it can actually impede part of the walking during the stance phase of gait. So, turns out that that's actually pretty important. That the movements of the foot and ankle that they interact with the ground allow us to walk smooth, efficiently. It affects step length, it affects stride length, and it also affects the speed of walking. So if we can solve that part of the puzzle, we can optimize an individual's ability to recover and fully be functional. So here's that AFO again. To allow those movements to occur, the left device has the ability to do that because it's not very stiff, but it has enough to hold the foot up. The device on the right, if it's too stiff, it will block those motions, and they will have a subtle limp that's still present. So we had an idea. If we could just measure how much force it takes to hold that foot up for clearance, to achieve that goal, and we could design that joint and add it to this device, then we could actually solve the other problem of stance-face walking and improve and optimize their functionality. So we had to have a team. We have a team of faculty engineers. I'm a bioengineer as well as a clinical orthotist, and I have an electrical engineer and a mechanical engineer. We have prosthetic and orthotic graduate students that are on this project, There's two elements. One is a diagnostic test device, and the other is the ankle-foot orthosis itself. This is a new concept, actually measuring that small amount of force. We've been doing this for hundreds of years, and no one's actually measured the force to solve the problem. So we're going to do that, and we have a computer-controlled device that this little foot pleat will lift the foot up, take that measurement, computer-controlled, and we will now be able to have a database of what we need. Now, the beauty of this is that every patient has a different value to hold that foot up. So we can take the measurement to the individual, target what the stiffness should be, and then 3D print a joint like this that can achieve the exact design of that stiffness. And this is what it looks like. Now, the beauty of this, too, is it can change the stiffness in each direction. And it can be 3D printed. Then we have a modular AFO and it controls the foot plate, on the left there. And now, again, it can be targeted for that patient. So we're not leaving it there. We have to have a system. So we've designed a modular device. We have a carbon fiber foot plate, carbon fiber upright, a 3D printed cuff, and then we can select a joint, 3D print it, assemble it, small, medium, and large, left or right foot pieces, so a patient can walk with it out that day. And then if we want to change it, we just pull this out and drop another one in, 3D print it. It's very cost effective. How are we going to evaluate if we're doing this effectively? Outcome measures. I talked about walking speed, step length. So we're going to measure that. We're going to quantify how long it takes for someone to go from their heel to their toe. And I think we will be able to demonstrate that we can improve that. So what's nice is I've given the model for this ankle-foot orthosis, but this same joint can be used on the knee, the elbow, and they can be done very quickly and reasonably cost. So we hope to make people move faster and walk farther. Thank you.